Okay, Knox, what's the building that you're standing in front of right now?
This is the Australian War Memorial. We were in there just a while ago for a couple hours, and I found a bunch of stuff.
So what is the main purpose of the War Memorial?
To commemorate World War I.
And why is that such a big deal in Australia?
Well, first of all, I think they began building it before World War II even begun. It had more casualties for Australia than World War II did. And yeah.
So are those the only two wars that this has artifacts from or talks about for Australia?
No. Outside of World War I and II, it also talks about Vietnam War, the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, the Korean War, all those things, just not very much. The two main exhibits are World War I and II, and then it's got some things that talk about all the wars that they've been in.
Even back when they were still part of the United Kingdom, right? So
back when they were in the British Empire.
So I think the first one where there are Australian casualties on the wall is from the war in Sudan back in the 1880s. Yeah, that's not something that we spend a lot of time on in America, is it?
Yeah, it's got a big list of all the casualties from every Australian conflict. So the most is World War I, closely followed by World War II, and then all the other ones are not nearly as big. So
there was one artifact that I thought was pretty interesting from the Red Baron. Do you remember that artifact?
Yeah, the flag
from his plane.
They tore from his plane. So,
yeah.
That's cool.
Are there any other artifacts that you thought were really impressive or that really made you feel like, wow, that is really a piece of World War I?
There was a uniform that the soldier who wore it had donated to the museum right after he got out of the war. It hadn't been cleaned up or anything, so it still has all the dirt that was on it when he took it off.
So it's right out of the trenches.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's neat.
And we talked about how one of the things we learned here is that if you are part of a country that does not totally control your own destiny, like Australia, and you're part of the Commonwealth, what kinds of places do you tend to get sent in wartime?
Wherever the person who's kind of in charge of you doesn't want to be fighting. They just kind of, they're like, hey, Australia, get over it.
Right, so you get sent to some of the worst places with sometimes not very good support, and so there were some really tragic stories about...
Especially in World War I. It didn't happen quite as much in World War II because they were busy defending themselves from Japan.
True.
Yeah.
So would you recommend the Australian War Memorial?
Well, it wouldn't quite make sense to fly all the way to Australia.
Of course not.
To go there. But if you happen to be in Australia, most certainly yes.